Hello. The plan for tonight's overnight trip is to try out a new antenna. It's an end-fed wire. It's 120 feet, is it? About 40 meters, 134 feet. It's cut to get me on 80, 40 and 20. I'm using a 49-to-1 transformer on the end of a balun on the end of it. It's from M1 ECC antennas. So I've had this antenna now for a number of weeks, but I've only really tried it out tonight. Over the past few weeks I've been trying out the mill whip and the slide winder coil. So I've left this in the vehicle, this big piece of wire, but today I brought it out. So to get the wire in the air, I've had to use a mast. So I've had to bring the mast with me because the weight in the length of the wire and the gauge of the wire, it's so heavy. I was going to stick on a pole on the end of it, on the other end, to try and get it higher in the air, but I know from this type of wire it will just make mincemeat out of any fiberglass poles. So I've really got it on a sloper right down to a brick wall over there, and I've tied it around a wooden post. It's not ideal, however, using the antenna analyzer, I've managed to fold the wire back enough to get the SWR down, so I can get into the bottom end of 80. It's spot on, absolutely spot on 40. 20 is spot on. I haven't tried 10 yet. I might actually whip through the frequencies and actually have a look at how the antenna is looking across a number of the bands. So the idea really is to play about with this antenna. So I'll catch some of that into the video. So one of the things that I want to, I suppose you can help me out on this one in the comments. So my thinking is that with the end-fed antenna, it's only got one half of the antenna in many ways. The feed line, I guess, will become part of the other half. The feed line will become part of the other half of the antenna, or at least try to act as some sort of counterpoise to that. I wonder, because it's not a perfect setup, it's quite close to the ground, quite close to a building. I wonder whether I should put down some radials to try and give some sort of reflection, try and maybe improve the antenna performance. Let's go in here, it's a bit windy. I don't know if I should or not. My brain says that actually by having some radials down gives that reflection off the ground, that RF reflection. I've got no real way, haven't got a real way of measuring before and after on that really. It's only because I don't want to have a billion volts and all sorts coming back down the feed line towards me. Again, yeah, if you just put in the comments, what would you do? Would you actually have radials on? Would you drive a stake in the ground? Well, you can't drive you cannot drive an earth stake into this ground. It's just pure rock underneath here. So you're stuck with radials or no radials. That's the question.
The weather that you had the other day has come over to me, so there you are. I was hearing heavy.
Yeah, Roger, yeah, you are 5-5 into the central part of the UK. The name is Carl, Charlie, Alpha, Romeo, Lima, QSL.
Mike 0, Santiago, Zanzibar, Tokyo, /Baltimore, Roger?
Yeah, Roger.
Okay, many thanks. My name is Claudio. Charlie, Lima, Alpha, Uniform, Delta India Oscar on south part of Switzerland into the Lake of Lugano. You're 5 and 9, over.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Yeah, your signal's come back up. It's your signal is also a 5x9 in the central part of the UK. I'm a portable station using a long end fed wire antenna on 100 watts. Back to you, Claudio.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your call. I wish my best.
Now, because it's probably one of the biggest antennas that I've used recently here, difficult to compare the noise levels from previous visits. But there is some noise on 40 meters. There's a there's some so I don't know whether this NFEDs are slightly noisier. They pick up noise a bit easier. I'm right next to a building here that has some electric in. There's some. I'm just going to show you around here. Don't trip over the wires. Behind me here, there's the end junction of some electric. Must be to this property here. So that might have a transformer on it as well. I think there's a thing on the end of it that looks a bit like it means business. So I don't know whether I'm actually picking up more noise on this, because I mean it's 130 odd feet of wire, so there is more wire in the air, and it's going to pick up stronger signals, and it's going to bring the noise level up as well. Yeah, I'll try 80 meters in a bit, but we'll let 40 run a little bit. There's plenty. I mean, it's wall to wall, but it's, I think, mostly short skip, because it's a really low antenna. So I'm just going to get a lot of up and down signals mostly, rather than low angle. This is 20 meters.
Roger, you 10 dB over 9, 10 dB over 9, booming signal in Albania, over.
Okay. We know where he's from. The time is it's 5:45. So 20 meters has gone quieter, but there's a couple of stations.
Many thanks. Greetings from Albania 73. Good luck. Zulu Alpha / Yankee Oscar 5. Oscar Echo Delta. Listening to what?
Oh, 2 up. Right. It's evening time. Just had a lovely tea. Just made a cuppa. Almost just gonna get the bed ready for later. I played a bit of radio. Made contact. I'm turning this off. Hello, Cal. I made contact with Cal on 40 meters, and that was ace. Getting to chat with Cal very briefly. I'm going to plug in the analyzer, so I'm going to have a look at how it's tuned in at the moment on the different bands, and just get a sense of when it's where the harmonics are on the resonant points on the antenna. So it's behind me. Right, I'll set this up and we'll have a quick look. 80, 40, 20, didn't get 17, didn't get 12, 10 meters, no chance on 10, 30 meters, no. However, 80, 40 and 20 in this configuration anyway, getting contacts, get some strong signals. One thing that I couldn't do, I tried to run the computer using the USB cable, but every time it transmitted, there's so much RF coming back around here through the feed line and the truck, because we're right underneath the antenna. It just completely obliterated the USB. There's no chance with USB, unless radials, ground rod, I don't know, but yeah, interesting. Good morning. I'm just going to get a brew on. I'm just packing up and then heading home. The last night was a good night for radio. There's a few stations on, but using the long wire, the end fed, sorry, not the long wire, the end fed antenna, I managed to get quite a number of contacts on voice without much difficulty, whereas, you know, with a smaller compromised antenna, there's more patience required. So the antenna definitely so one thing that I'm mindful of with this antenna is the wire itself is very heavy. Once you get to 130 or 140 feet, and then you fold the bit back at the end until you get it tuned in, the weight of it, you need some really sturdy poles. So for a portable antenna, I mean, I got my mast with me, but not everybody's got like a telescopic tripoded mast thing. I'm not sure whether the normal flagpole type masts would hold that weight up. In the past we've tried that and we've snapped one or two of them, especially when it gets colder and the mast, the fiberglass, gets more brittle. So I might replace the wire on it with something lighter, because I'm only going to do 100 watts. If I do FT8, that's only going to be down to 20-30 watts, so I'm not going to put, you know, too much strain on the wire. So I may do that and just try and lighten it a little bit. It's a little bit heavy. But apart from that, I've got no problem leaving the end fed overnight. It's damp as anything, everywhere is damp, soaked. No problem with that. It's well sealed. It's a for simple construction on the outside. It's well constructed. So yeah, quite pleased with that. I'm glad I brought it out. Okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna get a brew, some porridge, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.